How's everyone doing tonight? Woo! It's Wednesday. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. With
John
ready in his chair. And almost 10 whole people watching from home. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? It's time for the ThinkSoJoE Show!
John's second biggest fan says that they're not ready. They're not ready for you.
No, they're not.
Joe, it's John.
Is this Sam?
It's Sam from Wasted Reject.
Hi, what's up, guys?
He's got a new tune we're gonna play today. He's got a show coming up. You got all kinds of stuff going on. You got the Overlook reunion coming up as well.
Oh yeah, reunion and farewell.
All right, exactly. Slinky Cubes is ready, whoever that is.
Oh, I know you. Hey, Alan, how you doing,
Okay.
bud?
All right. So yeah, we haven't had a guest on the show in quite a while.
It's Ryan.
And it is, yeah, Ryan was the last one. It is 87 degrees in Buffalo, and we got a little tiny desk fan. So this might be a fun show. Katie is also not ready.
Nah, you're not, hon. You're not.
That would be Sam. We've already introduced him. Anyway.
Oh, maybe they're just catching in now. Maybe they missed that.
She literally started the show by saying, I'm not ready.
Oh,
Laura's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
oh,
That's Laura for you.
That name rings a bell now.
Yeah. So I had programmed in one of the songs you dropped over the last couple of days, and then I'm getting ready to clean up the studio, and I get a text from John. He says, "Hey, this is Sam's new track." Like, okay.
Wait, what new track?
He gave me a
one
track.
you sent me from a couple days ago during the week.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Is that
You
okay?
know what? Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
I mean, we could play the other ones if you'd rather do that. We can figure that out.
That'll be okay. No.
Okay, cool.
That'll be great.
Cool. All right.
No, I just communication, John.
Well, I just thought you said that was Master. It's like, and that's a pretty good song.
Yeah, it is a good one.
That's a really
why I'm
good song.
allowing it. That's why I'm allowing it. It's a good
I'm just.
You feel now. You used to don't feel. Now you feel now. Okay.
I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and I saw the Clerks 2 with one of your new singles.
Oh yeah, that was just I just learned that DistroKid does that.
Yeah, we actually did that for Cat Girls. We did that one, and what else did we do? Do you remember? We did 2 of them for Cat Girls. The videos, like the movie videos. We did the Clerks one.
Clerks 1.
And we did another one. I can't remember what the other one was.
Yeah, I can't remember the top of my head.
But we did 2 of them. John, how is the foot?
I'm feeling much better. I go back next week, and hopefully I'm pretty much healed.
Hopefully.
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 Fingers crossed.
Because you got a show the next day, and then a trip to Nashville the day after that.
Oh, yeah.
No sleep.
No sleep.
No sleep.
To Brooklyn.
Well, to Nashville, and
to
not even
Nashville.
in Nashville. I've already reached out. I reached out to my buddy Cassidy from bodyslam.net, because he's going to be hanging out down in Nashville. I'm like, hey, you gonna be in Nashville? He says, yeah. I said, I don't suppose you got time to have lunch? He's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah, probably. He's like, I'm not even going to SummerSlam. Hashtag no sleep John.
Yep. And no sleep.
That's kind of been your experience in going on trips with me, has it not?
Yeah, pretty much.
You got no sleep on the trip to Pittsburgh.
What? Kind of.
On the bus. You slept on the bus a little bit. We did sleep in the hotel for a very brief period of time, because by the time we got food was 2:30 in the morning, and we got picked up at like 6:30, so we got like 4 hours of sleep, and then like we could sleep on the bus. We could probably sleep on the plane. That's doable.
The day before, or the day of the show.
Yeah. So literally, like we are finishing. I'm going to turn my mic down. I am way too hot. We're finishing our gig at Stamps on the 29th. We are figuring out where the gear is going.
Yes.
And then we are basically going straight to the airport and catching a
Yes.
plane. So.
It's going to be fun.
And then from there, we go to the stadium, we watch the show, we go back to the airport. John should only sleep in mansions.
I like the way she thinks.
You know what? I kind of do too. I agree with that. I think everybody should just. Be
I
sleeping
believe
in a
she was
mansion.
saying hi. I saw you waving. I believe she was saying hi to this Johnny,
Oh.
Mr. Johnny Mercury in the chat. He's not been here in a minute.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to order one of them Ask John
He,
t-shirts.
he told me he did.
Okay, I didn't.
He told me he already did.
I didn't.
A couple weeks ago.
Okay, I haven't looked at the order pages,
I got to
so
order
maybe
my
that's
own
on
shirt.
me.
I still got to do that.
Right. So John's second biggest fan is going to continue asking who the guy in the back is.
Oh,
I used to be in a band with him about, maybe, 4 years ago?
yeah.
Used to be an Overlook.
I'm starting to think that you used to be in a band with everybody.
Yes.
Because like,
I get around.
Because, like, we found out Tuesday last week that we're losing our bass player, and we're like, all right, we could probably just put this off till after the show on the 29th. And then it was like, you've been selected to play music as art. So it's like, oh, okay. And Ryan's like, well, I'm not available. So I'm like, shit, all right, I guess we'll put it out there that we're looking for a bass player. So I put it out there that we're looking for a bass player, and then the next night, John calls me. Hey, I found a bass player. You did? And this dude shows up in practice on Tuesday and just nails everything. Nails it. Like, already knew all the songs.
I was shocked.
We didn't.
I
like-
kind of had faith in him the whole time.
Like, you know, Ryan was there, and Ryan was going to teach him anything he didn't know, and we literally only had to stop a couple of times so Ryan could be like, yo, play it this way, you know? So anyway, yeah. So, but it turns out it's a guy you were in a band with before.
Overlook.
Very
Yeah.
briefly. A band with, also with Sam. So yeah.
Yeah, you told me. I was a little surprised, but I'm glad it's working out. Glad it's working out.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised, because usually when it's like, oh, somebody new's coming in, great, here we go again, you know. And
yeah, you feel like you got to start over. You got to, but didn't really feel like it.
I don't know if it's necessarily the feeling of like you got to start over, or
We
the
had
feeling
music,
of,
but you got to teach them.
or the feeling of being like, you know, an introvert and kind of antisocial, and like you're
Yeah.
meeting new people, like that kind of like when you joined the band, I'm like, oh fuck, all right, here we go, let's go meet this guy. So
You thought I was a kid.
yeah. Random guy in the back, which is better, Coke or Pepsi? Asks John's second biggest fan. And Katie cleared that up for her already. Clearly Pepsi.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what John handed me. Honestly, it depends on if it's the regular or the zero.
Okay.
Because, like, Pepsi Zero, I really like. I like it better than Coke Zero, but regular Coke, I like better than regular Pepsi. So it really is a toss-up.
There is Pepsi Zero in the fridge if you want some of that.
Oh, I'm okay. This is gonna
Okay.
hold me over.
Okay, cool. I mean, it is. Once the cans run out, if you need Pepsi Zero or water, there's that in the fridge. So, but because it is 80-something degrees right now.
Some person said it was 91. I'm like.
Well, Amazon's telling me 87, so I'm gonna go with what Amazon tells me.
Sure.
It's right here on my screen, so
Gotta go with Bezos.
yeah. I'm going with whatever it says on the screen here, and it says it's 6:09 p.m. and 87 degrees here in Buffalo. We got to take into account when we go to Nashville that they are on Central Time, where we got that time change.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we got to take that into account when we get into town. it hit me like today. I'm like, wait a second, no, that's Central Time that's Nashville. And the only reason I know that is I dated a girl from Nashville for a brief period of time. So it was always like, oh no, it's only 7 o'clock. No, it's like 8 o'clock.
What time are you guys getting?
7,
in
6,
Nashville?
what? I think like 11:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got any time to explore at all? A little bit.
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got a little bit. Like I said, I'm trying to meet up with my buddy Cassidy down there and be like, yo, let's go get lunch.
I've always wanted to go to Nashville. Always seemed like a nice place.
Yeah. What's our flight out? Like 6:30 in the morning?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so if we're flying back at 6:30 in the morning, we probably got some time after the show, as long as you're able to walk.
Yeah. Well,
We could probably check out some of
the way they were on standby, so.
Right. But like after the show, we might have some time to go check out like some of the bars and shit, because they go like all fucking night playing music and shit. So.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible that we could get to see some of Nashville. Thoughts on metal molding? What the fuck are you on? Random guy in the back. Thoughts on metal molding?
I don't mold metal, so I don't really know, but I do mold parts for my job. So I mean, I don't know how, for some reason, this person knew molding was the right word tonight. But congrats on that. I don't really know. I'm
Laura's
sorry.
always got good questions.
That,
Yeah.
all right.
She'll come up with anything.
Okay.
That's why we got the game show buzzers on here, because they're always asking John questions. Should music be taught to prisoners in Cuba? And that is a question for random guy in the back.
I feel like the knowledge of music should be passed down to anybody and everyone. So I mean, I'm completely okay with that.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's something like to keep them busy. You know, like I feel like that's more of a positive outlook on things. I don't know much of what's going on in Cuba besides like obvious Cuba, but
I mean, we just got invited to play the Music is Art Festival, and that is like basically to keep music education in schools and provide instruments and things like that for kids, because music is an art form and it is something that should be passed down generation to generation. And it's definitely something we are, very passionate about. I all my Amazon purchases, they round up for a similar charity called Little Kids Rock, which puts instruments into the hands of kids. Katie wants to know how much for the Tetris light in the back. You could get it on Amazon for, I think, about like $20.
yeah, that's my fiance. Huge fan of Tetris. As soon as I kind of slightly read what she saw, I looked. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, it's like, I think it was like $20. And like the thing, it's like the bottom piece is like the main piece, and then you stack the pieces however you want, and they light up as you stack them. So, and I'm pretty sure it was like $20. I'll send Sam the link later.
Okay.
Yeah. Remind me.
I will. I don't think she'll ever not tell me to remind you.
There we go. We got people using your name. Samuel, aka Wasted Reject. What is your favorite food?
Probably chicken wings, honestly. You're from Buffalo. Then I'm from Buffalo, man. Chicken wings is like my bread and butter.
These guys come over for like all the wrestling pay-per-views, and it's always like, all right, you guys just want pizza? No, let's get wings. All right, cool. Spend the money on pizza and wings. All right. Random guy in the back. Favorite musician starting with the letter G.
The letter G. Musician, like you're talking about a certain person?
She wants to know your favorite musician starting with the letter G, I guess. I don't know. I've got tickets to see Garth Brooks on Saturday. I don't know if I'm going. I think I might sell that ticket. I'm a little concerned about being around 60,000 country fans. Like,
Person or band? Oh, okay, that makes that a lot easier. I'm a huge fan of Green Day. They were like one of my big intros into alternative music. At least that's what they would have considered it at that point.
right.
I'm actually a little bummed out with the song I got introduced to them by, because everybody seems to not like it, but I really loved the song, and it was 21 Guns when that came out.
Okay. So you got introduced to them like
later,
like 21st Century Breakdown era. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like 12 when Dookie came out, so that was my introduction to Green Day, and would have been my first concert, but my parents wouldn't let me go. I don't know why. It was at the Niagara Falls Civic and Convention Center, which is now the Seneca Niagara Casino. But for whatever reason, they wouldn't let me go, so my first concert ended up being Metallica, and I kind of got obsessed with Metallica. So.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say, really.
Johnny Mercury says he saw Guar in Richmond, and it was epic. I have yet to see Guar.
They're coming here.
They're coming here, yeah.
Yeah.
Guar is very interesting. They're not like my favorite thing of all time or whatnot, but they are definitely very interesting. Especially if they're headlining. For some people, that might be worth it. Also, since no one's mentioning it, Necrogobicon is also on that bill, and I almost decided to go just for them. So
Okay. And it's also been pointed out that Slinky Cubes' manager saw Green Day at Runways on South Union Road in like 1993. Yeah, they came to the convention center like right when Dookie was like right when Basket Case was like the hit song. And it's like, oh, I gotta go to the show. And I did not get to go to the show. My best friend went to the show, and he, to this day, his favorite band is Green Day. And actually, James Hetfield and Billy Joe Armstrong did a thing together for charity a few years ago. So it's like, dude, look at this video. It's our favorite bands together.
So have you ever seen the video of Metallica playing Green Day on stage? They stop like partway through American Idiot, and they say that's all we learned, and then their bassist Rob is playing the bass line to When I Come Around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually did see that. Random guy in the back, thoughts on Home Alone 5. Here we go again.
Home Alone 5.
I didn't see all the Home Alones. I stopped after 3 because I knew what it was going to become.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even bother with 3. I'm like, nah, 2 was good. We're done. Random guy in the back, how can I improve my fire breathing skills?
You wait till the day the Fire Nation attacks and change everything. I don't know. Can't help you there.
You don't know anything about fire breathing, huh?
No,
Okay.
Nah, it's not in my repertoire.
So fire breathing, they got like a flame at the end of a stick, a long stick, and then you take in some whatever the fuck flammable liquid and just basically spit it at this fire.
Like at the shows, like on little like boardwalks and stuff.
Yes,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
so if you're familiar with mid '90s WWF, like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
That person I'm not familiar with,
okay.
But I am more familiar with the first thing that was said. But I don't really know how all that works.
I think you need to have like a license to actually like practice doing that, but I feel like it's something I could do if I really wanted to.
It should come with a disclaimer that this
Absolutely.
hobby is not responsible for.
Absolutely. Let's see. Random guy in the back. Does it gent?
It absolutely does.
Random guy in the back. Is John having fun?
Seems to. Sometimes that works, sometimes not, but that's just work.
Johnny Mercury says, sorry for the absence. He's been busy with the baby, but he ordered the shirt. First order didn't go through. Can we sign it? Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, just hit me up. We'll give you the address. You can send it to us, and we'll sign it, send it right back to you. So, yeah, absolutely. Anybody wants to order from merch.thinksojoe.com and have us sign any of the podcast t-shirts or me sign any of the things you might not know stuff or whatever, we could do that. Got a silver Sharpie right here ready to go.
Still got to come out with an Axl Rose one.
Yes, we do. There's a Guns N' Roses style Think So Joe Show t-shirt.
It's not the first time John's been put in a signature situation. Remember when Chris was in Overlook? And we played with Dilettante one time, and he made this inside joke that everyone hated. Signed my Diletitties.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he would just go up to the guys and he just wanted them to sign his chest, so he just said, "Sign my Dilla titties," and the band was called Dilettante, and I'm just kind of like, really, man? I come up with some good dad jokes, but that one I'm still in defeat over.
Random guy in the back. Have you ever broken a bone?
No, I have not, strangely enough. I have never broken anything on my body in my entire life.
Lucky you.
I
I'm
said
not
the same
bragging
thing.
about it, John. I'm sorry.
I said the same thing.
And then...
Don't jinx yourself, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Knock on wood.
No, I'm
careful. I don't go in the pits and shows. I don't go that close, dude. I stay in the back so I don't break anything.
I've had my nose broken. I've broken my finger. I've at least bruised my ribs. I don't know if I might have broken them. But like, I went to work right after, and I'm just because my boss's son at the time was a like just finished like school to be a doctor, and I'm just like I walk in, I'm like, hey Nevin, I think I broke my ribs or maybe bruised them. Should I go to the hospital? He's like, nah, they're not gonna do anything for you. I'm like, okay, cool. I will just sit here and work. Random guy in the back, have you ever broken someone else's bones?
No, I have not. I have kicked a kid I knew like across his like media room once by like because he wanted to fight me for some odd reason.
Geez.
I didn't break anything though. He was lucky.
My best friend, we hung out. We used to hang out on Grand Island all the time when we were in high school, and like just one day he's just sitting on the floor at our friend's place in Grand Island, and I just start throwing kicks, and he starts blocking them. So then I faked right, and I came across left, and I kicked him in the face. I'm like, oh shit, dude, you okay? And I have physically abused this dude like so often in our friendship, just completely accidentally. Like one time we're just hanging out. He's on break from lunch, and the place he was working at happened to like the exit was where the bus station in Niagara Falls was at the time. So we were just hanging out. I was waiting for a bus. He was waiting to go back to work. This girl comes up. She's like, hey, do either of you guys got a lighter? And she was kind of cute. So I'm like, yeah. So I hand her the lighter, and she lights her cigarette or whatever. I'm like, you know what else you could do with a lighter? And I just go, and I caught my buddy's hair on fire. Holy shit. Fucking smacking him in the head, trying to put out the fire. So, a question for all of us. Favorite current venue in Buffalo in terms of space, hospitality, sound, and overall vibe? That's a good question. So, overall, as far as like playing or seeing shows?
I feel like since he knows we're all musicians, probably
Playing shows?
Yeah.
Okay. As far as space, feel, and overall vibe, and sound, space, hospitality, sound, and overall vibe. I would be tempted to give it to Tudor, but that's not a big space.
No.
I would say probably like Mohawk. It's a big enough room. The sound guys are phenomenal there. Mm-hmm. I did feel terribly rushed when we were getting set up for opening for 96 Bitter Beings when we played there. I felt like super rushed to a point where like my volume was down on my guitar and I didn't even realize it till halfway through the set.
It was funny because after the first time we played there as Overlook, the sound guy came up. He's like, all right, if we can get you guys off in like 5 minutes, I will get you guys a drink. And I'm just like, we did it. We got everything off in 5 minutes. But then again, we were a 4-piece, and the hardest part was your drums because Chris used a line 6. And our one bassist had, I think he was using one too at that point. I think Tom was using it.
Yeah.
Something like that at that point.
Yeah.
I'd say Mohawk.
Yeah.
Mohawk, for me, Rec Room.
Okay. I haven't played Rec Room, so I don't.
Rec Room to me had the best sound wise when you were able to hear yourself back through the monitors, even without in ears.
Let's take it back.
Nice. And just the space when there's not backlining is absolutely incredible. You don't think it when you look at it, but like you get on the stage, you're like, this feels bigger than I thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
The only other time we ever played anywhere else that was that good with sound was this. I can't remember the name of it, but it was this weird place we played in Jamestown, and we played this random show with a progressive metal band in Jamestown called Spores. And this place was mostly for, like, I think comedy events, from what I understand, but the sound was absolutely astounding. And this place had, like, seats that were, like, arena-like seats in there, like, up front, kind of like a real, like, theater setting. But, like, it wasn't that, it was probably as big as, probably Mohawk, honestly. It's not a big place, and it's not really even that much of a venue, but we played there, and it was really cool. I honestly hope they were going to turn that more into an actual music venue. I don't think they ended up doing so, but I could be wrong.
I give honorable mention to Evening Star in Niagara Falls. That was a great show. It had PE, the sound, everything. Just like even with the back line, we had plenty of space on stage, and just a big room, great sound, I think it's still hospitable, but it was a lot more hospitable when Greg Rinker was still with us. So and that's just that's just a testament to how great of a dude Greg was. But but also Nietzsche's was really fun. It's a really narrow space though.
Because I've been hearing a lot about that place lately. Like, I don't know. I've never been there, but I'm like really tempted to go to a show there.
The sound there is amazing. Like, that was one of my favorite shows we ever played. And Good Bar is a great room if you get a good sound guy. If you get one of the bad sound guys, it is shitty. And it's also terrible to, like, load your gear into. Especially when your drummer forgets his ID at home and you have to load his drums in.
That sounds like something exactly John would do. Every time, like, we would go to a show, he'd be like, yo, I gotta stop here for something. Then all of a sudden, I would get a call 15 minutes later, yeah, I broke a tire. Or, yeah, my car just stopped working. I'm like, and we're, like, at load-in already, an hour into load-in at this point for a few of those, and I'm just like, there was the one time when he came up as like a second frontman for Overlook for like 2 shows. The first one we did was at Rec Room, and he almost didn't even make it. He almost didn't even make it. There was a storm. Yeah, there was a storm. I will give him that. There was a big like winter storm that night. This was like 2019 in like January at some point.
So you're not the only band I do this for.
No,
we know this because we went to see you with your other band that you were in.
I could tell
and
you
forgot your cymbals.
I could tell you stories
I
about.
remember that too. I was there.
I could tell you stories about Lakeham's death. I'm not gonna go there.
Your fiance is leaving to go home, so she says goodbye and to enjoy the rest of the stream.
Okay.
So
I will. Hope you had a good day, hon.
Should we take one more question? We got 2 minutes before song break. Should we take one more question and then we'll head into the... So we'll take one more question.
Laura, hit us with a question here.
Well, we got Johnny Mercury here.
Oh, okay.
John, Joe, and Random Guy, did you ever backyard wrestle?
Yes.
No. Fun fact, I like talking wrestling, but I only really got into wrestling back in 2018. I knew of wrestling because I played SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, or I think either 8 or 7, and it was a really good game. And that's how I knew a lot of faces and things like that, but I never actually watched the product till many years later.
One of the reasons why he got into that, probably.
That, you and Katie. Katie was watching at the time. She's not anymore, but she was watching back then.
I don't think I ever really backyard wrestled. Like, my cousins and I used to, like, wrestle around in the basement and shit, you know? Like, I got a pretty mean figure 4 leg lock, but but I mean, as far as like, I'll tell you what, I got a story about backyard wrestling, and I will try to squeeze it into this 1 minute here. When I was in high school, there was this dude that would show up he would show up to school with like these belts made of like tinfoil wrapped around cardboard on like actual like belts, and he had this company called YCW, Youth Championship Wrestling, and we used to make fun of this dude constantly because, you know, we were assholes. And, but he's like, oh man, yeah, YCW, what's that? Young Crackhead Wrestling? And, you know, that, you know, stupid high school shit, right? So we show up to this. So this dude, I threw a piece of paper at him one day or something. And he's like, oh, you come to get your 5 best wrestlers and come to the YCW on Tuesday. If you lose, you kiss my feet. And I'm like, okay, dude, whatever. And I knew where this dude's house was. And if you like walked down his street and you look in the backyard, you could tell which one was his because it had like clotheslines tied around trees in the backyard. That was the ropes for the ring. And so I'm just gonna show up with a couple of dudes. So I show up to this dude's house with a dude that's like this tall and like another dude who's like my size. And we just show up and we made our own little, you know, belts making fun of his. And we walk up we knock on his door. Hey, is Mike here? Oh, Mike? And his mom answers the door. Mike, he's doing chores. All right, sure, whatever. So we just leave. And as we're leaving, we hear this dude's mom, I told you not to go in the backyard and wrestle. And fucking screaming at him about this shit. And so we walk into school the next Monday or whatever the fuck. And we're just like, dude, we won by forfeit. You lost. You got to kiss my feet, right, dude? Like, what the fuck? But that's my backyard wrestling experience. So we're gonna play a song now, and this is a new track, unreleased, I believe.
Yes, it is unreleased, and it features another old member of Overlook and a good friend of mine, Thomas Fritton.
Okay, this is a song from Wasted Reject, and this song is called "All the Time" on All WNY. ThinkSoJoE Show.
Laying in my bed, heavy in the head. I guess I had too much to drink. I need to think less about the drama. Gotta get out of town and clear my mind for a while, and play a melody that best suits me to find just the thing that makes me happy, like sunrise or the sunset over crystal clear blue oceans, or the thought of having you to hold and making love and growing old. Clear skies, staring at the stars in the middle of the night, lost in the warmth of your eyes. I need to feel this way all the time. Dealing with these demons that I forgot that I had. I'm gonna crank out that old jukebox and play all the old songs Sinatra had. So fly me to the moon and make my night for me. Makes me snap my fingers and tap my feet. It's just the thing I need to make me happy, like sunrise or the sunset over crystal clear blue oceans, or the thought of having you to hold and making love and growing old. Clear skies, staring at the stars in the middle of the night, lost in the warmth of your eyes. I need to feel this way all the time. Sunrise or the sunset over crystal clear blue oceans, or the thought of having you to hold and making love and growing old. Clear skies, staring at the stars in the middle of the night, lost in the warmth of your eyes. I need to feel this way all the time.
All right, that was Wasted Reject on All WNY. ThinkSoJoE Show. That song called "All the Time." Good track, man.
Thank
That was the first chance I got to listen to it because, like, I got it, and I'm like, all right, let me just program this one in real quick. Because I had your other song, Dark Side. I had that one ready to go because that was the one I heard the other day.
That was the one I figured y'all were actually gonna play.
Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw that Clerks video you put up, and I was like, oh shit, I got to drop what I'm doing and listen to this song right now. So, you know, because you're super supportive of us, so we're gonna be super supportive of you. And I mean, I would be anyway because you're my friend, and
I get that. I appreciate.
but
that
I dig the music, man. It's a little different than what I normally listen to, but it is definitely like. Do you produce the beats?
I do not. No.
Okay.
The beats are made. I work with two producers technically, but the one who made that beat and made the one to Dark Side as well is a man named called Mike the Mix.
Okay.
Who is actually a producer, I believe, outside of Lockport. Yeah, Lockport. I'm looking at you.
Lockport. John knows about Lockport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about Lockport from having to go all the way out to John's house.
But the song was mixed and mastered by him, but I recorded it in Elma with the producer I mostly go to when it comes to band projects, Anthony Potenza.
Okay.
But like I love his vocal recording sessions, so I just absolutely had to go in for this on that. And plus, me and Tom, who featured in the first verse of that song, are working on a project together that we're doing over there with him too. So it just kind of made sense.
Cool. Yeah, we so during the song break, we also got a video sent to us from Johnny Mercury in the chat. There, we were watching watching some of that. We didn't get through the whole clip, but we did watch a little bit. I think I was more paying attention to like the ring and the surrounding area than I was to the actual match. But you ever notice a lot of these backyard wrestling videos? You got the little Tykes car in the background, or like barring that, you got the little Tykes like picnic table. Like just some little kid toy, like in the background of all these backyard wrestling. I knew a dude who did backyard wrestling for, I think he probably still does it. And like any video I would see, you'd see that little plastic fucking picnic table in the background. And it's like, dude, come on. So there used to be this Facebook page or group called Trash Bag Wrestlers, right? And they would take guys who just show up in like dressed like I'm dressed right now, you know, t-shirt and like cut off cargo shorts. And they would just call them out, like, you know, because you don't buy wrestling gear at Walmart. So they would call them out and they'd call out like referees that didn't tuck in their shirts and shit like that. Like, you're supposed to be a professional wrestling person dressed like a fucking wrestler. Well, they put my buddy Nick up on there, and you know, some promo he cut when he got fired from an actual wrestling organization. And I'm like, dude, like, they're ripping on you right now. You need to go in there, cut a promo in the comments, and fucking win them over. And he goes in there like, I'm going to sue you guys for making fun. I'm like, that's not what I told you to do. That dude got threatened to be sued so many times, the Trash Bag Wrestlers page. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was fun while it lasted. John, what is your dream drum kit and cymbals? And Johnny Mercury got a PDP CX5 series and Istanbul cymbals. Did you know that Istanbul was Constantinople? Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. It's been a long time gone, Constantinople.
Let's see.
If you know that song, it is now stuck in your head, and I am not sorry.
I would have to say...
I do have that on vinyl. I was going to say I need that on vinyl. I have that on vinyl.
Dream drums...
Yeah, your dream drum kit. And we'll get to some of the questions that came before.
I was very into, like... Because I'm a big Travis Barker fan, so I was, like, into Orange County and always wanted an Orange County kit. But that would have to be my dream drum set. Cymbals-wise... a custom Zildjian.
Okay. He says that his kit was used by the drummer from Alien Ant Farm.
Yo, really?
Oh, nice.
Yo, that's dope.
That's dope.
I once saw Rancid from the line to get Alien Ant Farm's autograph. I don't recall seeing Alien Ant Farm. I might have, but I was fucked up that day. So I was my only time I ever did ecstasy,
Oh.
and it was like hotter than it is today out there. To a point where like one of my buddies was so dehydrated he was literally sweating steam. That wasn't me being high seeing that. That was actually what was happening. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Does OCP even make stuff anymore? It's fairly hard to track down around here.
No, they only really make it for like Travis or
Okay.
what I heard was they do. Orange County's kind of fake now 'cause they don't really have the company anymore. But
All right, we're going to go back to some questions from before the break that we didn't get to, which is, let's see, random guy in the back. What is John's favorite food?
I mean, we ate a lot of Wendy's when we were raised, so I'm just going to assume Wendy's. I actually have no clue.
Pasta.
What is- Pasta.
Pasta.
What
All
kind of
right, all right.
pasta?
what?
What kind of pasta?
Spaghetti.
Just
Okay.
spaghetti. Okay.
Okay. I'm kind of trying to cut back on pasta myself now, get back to that no carbs and lean meats, because I put on 15 of the 20 pounds I lost.
I'll take your weight.
Yeah, right. I know. I wish I could give it to you. Random guy in the back, thoughts on music videos. Do you think they add anything?
I feel like it depends on what you do with it, because some of these artists end up turning those into actual like little short films, and that's really interesting to me. I like performance ones, but I feel like it kind of wastes the idea of doing a music video in a sense. When I think of music video, I think like there's a storyline, there's something going on here. But like performance ones are cool, but I feel like music videos are only really beneficial if there's like a storyline to them or like a point to it being there. Like not every song I feel like deserves one or needs one, but there are definitely songs I hear that I'm like, okay, that should happen.
So more like here, like OK Go, Here It Goes Again music videos, and less like Def Leppard Pour Some Sugar on Me videos.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Since like performance videos can be fun, they've never really entertained me that much, but yeah, that's just me.
There you go. Don't just hump the air.
Oh no, that's actually that's an inside joke.
Okay.
This one guy we knew who plays in a local band around here, there's a music video he put out of one of his songs, and it's at Stamps. The video is at Stamps. They're performing on the stage, and during this just one line of the song where he says, this is backseat sex, and he just starts humping the air like no tomorrow, and it's...
That Frank?
I wasn't going to name names, man.
Oh, John, you fucked up.
Man, but yeah, no, it was insane. Well, now that he basically did that, go look up...
Ask it again and I'll censor you.
Well, he did it the other show, too.
Ask it again and I'll bleep you.
During that song, too. I know. We saw that before we left.
Frank.
No, you gotta ask a question so I know the word's coming.
Who humped the air?
Well, now you say what you
Okay.
said before. Was it?
Was it?
There you go. You got bleeped. Anyway, he's ruining the bit.
Do it again.
All right. Here we go. Anyway,
I love doing that.
Wow. You really want to be in Jersey Shore, don't you?
Yeah. No, I'm JF.
Anyway, the funny thing is, I did not hear what he said while I was bleeping him. I only heard the bleep. John and Joe and Random Guy. You're Random Guy, dude. You're stuck with that now.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it.
John and Joe and Random Guy, where would you love to perform in Canada?
I actually don't know any venues
Me either.
in Canada, but I mean, shout out, one of my favorite artists, The Weeknd, is from there, so I'm sure like there's a bunch of venues he performed at that I would have loved to before he like got big and whatnot. I would probably list those if any of those are still around. I have no idea. I've only been to Canada when I was like younger, and I went to like Blue Jays games back in the day with my dad. But that would be all we really did there. I remember like seeing a couple of different things, but I've always wanted to go back. I freaking did like Canada every time I went.
I recently went to Canada. I went to Toronto. I went to what's now Scotiabank Place or Arena or whatever the fuck where the Leafs play. I saw the Sabres play the Leafs. But I've been to like what's now Rogers Center, the old Sky Dome, and also to like the Canadian National Exhibition up there. But not any like small venues to be like, this is where I would play. Except maybe like the 102.1 The Edge Studios. I don't know that I've actually seen a band there, but I have definitely walked by there while a band was playing. But as far as like cities, definitely I would love to play Toronto.
Toronto would definitely be one. For me, Montreal.
I would say Montreal's got a pretty good scene from what I'm told by friends who have played there.
Canada just has good music in general if you can get by like a few things.
If you're a Tragically Hip fan, Live at the Roxy is a great album. It just came out on vinyl. It's from 1992. It's got the Killer Whale Tank version of New Orleans is Sinking.
If you're a fan of Rush, their entire discography.
Yes.
Absolutely, their entire discography.
We were having a discussion. I'm at the Rancid show, and somehow we get into a discussion about Rush. And, it's like, oh, if you don't have this album, you don't have a vinyl collection. And I didn't have that album at the time. I now own it. I can't think of what album it was, though. I know it's not Moving Pictures, because I did have that one, but, I can't think of what the album is.
The only Rush record I think I have on vinyl is this bootleg version of one show from late 70s that they played during the Fly By Night era.
Okay.
And it was at Agora, and the only reason I got it was because I've been to Agora. I know exactly where that is, so I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. It's a picture disc, and I'm never playing it. I'm going to hang that somewhere. Because it's got the whole band before the kimono gimmick and all that, and I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. Babies. They're all babies there.
A Farewell to Kings, that's the other Rush album that people were telling me, oh, you need to have that or you don't have a record collection. So, which is funny because we got all these Wayne's World clips, and in my time hop today, it's like me talking about watching Wayne's World and ordering Frampton Comes Alive because, it came in the mail with samples of Tide if you lived in the suburbs. I've listened to that once. A few Rush album covers were apparently captured in Buffalo.
Yes, there was a live record of theirs that their album cover was from Buffalo, but I think it was Exit Stage Left. I want to say that was the one that was from Buffalo, but I can't guarantee that.
Yeah. I don't know, I like Rush, and just, in
fact, I think Hemispheres was actually a photo of Buffalo, too. Come think about it, I think Hemispheres was.
You can actually get on vinyl the Ramones live in Buffalo. It's a bootleg, so you can't buy it on fucking Discogs or anything. I found it at Revolver. I found a few.
Revolver has some good stuff.
Revolver's got some good bootlegs if you're looking.
Literally most of their stuff is bootleg.
By the way, if anybody can find me the Coal Chamber self-titled bootleg, it's on yellow vinyl. Apparently it sounds really fucking good. If anybody can find it for me for a reasonable price.
I remember I was over at Revolver one day and I found the debut album from rapper Tyler, the Creator, and I'm like, he never even put this on CD or let alone vinyl. I'm like, there's no way this really exists. I'm taking this anyway, though.
Right.
Sorry, Tyler, but I'm sure you're happy that I'm listening to the music anyway.
That album is in the stacks, Worship and Tribute by Glassjaw. I have never listened to it because I can't stand that dude's voice.
You're not really a screamy vocal kind of guy.
I am not really, no. But when I was dating Karina, she fucking loved Glassjaw. She's got the logo tattooed on her arm and shit. And she would be listening to this all the time, and I would just hear this one fucking song. So I was like, all right, what album is this on? I'm gonna find this song, and I'm gonna buy this album. And I literally just went on Spotify because I knew I would know it from the first second of the song. So I'm skipping through all of fucking Glassjaw's discography. And I'll tell you what, I love the instrumentation on Glassjaw.
Glassjaw's incredible instrument.
Hate the vocals. And like
You would probably not like Dillinger either.
and that particular song that is on Worship and Tribute is like the song that is like, no, this sucks. Get this the fuck away from me. And because the guy, like, dude, no, the music is so good, you're ruining it. For me, I don't, if you like Glassjaw, that's cool. It's just not for me. I got a couple albums in the stacks that are technically Karina's that I'm just like, no, I don't want this. The Grateful Dead, Working Man's Dead, like, I don't want that. I like a couple of songs by them, but I'm not going to sit here and like go out of my way to listen to the Grateful Dead.
I'm not a big Deadhead either. I prefer, if I like that kind of stuff, I prefer Pink Floyd over anything.
Yeah, I have some Pink Floyd, and I listen to Pink Floyd.
To me, no record collection is complete without a Pink Floyd album.
I've actually got two pressings of The Wall. I've got an original pressing that is like back when it was missing like some of the band members in the liner notes.
Also, it has a misprint. Oh,
It's missing so like some of the band members are not in the liner notes, and they have lyrics for a song that ultimately got cut from the album. And that's like, early pressings of that, and they corrected that later. But then I got a newer pressing through like Amazon's Vinyl of the Month Club. And I was like, do I keep this? Do I get rid of it? And then I'm just sitting here one day and I go into the booth, and for some reason my brain just goes, so yeah, thought ya might like to go to the show. And I'm like, I gotta listen to The Wall like right now. So I come out and I open up that newer pressing, and the newer pressing is just fucking lifeless compared to the original.
Oh, I can imagine.
But yeah. But yeah, like there's a few records up here that are like technically Karina's, where it's like I need to give these back to her because I don't want them. I don't even have them in like my Discogs. I think I have that Grateful Dead in my Discogs, and Brian called me out on it once. He's like, dude, you have the fucking Grateful Dead. I'm like, it's Karina's. He's like, nah, I don't believe you. You listen to the Grateful Dead. I'm like, nah, it's Karina's, dude. I'll tell you what, man, I've been playing that new Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. And like once you beat it the first time, you can unlock Casey Jones. And I've been playing Casey Jones. And I'm just sitting there like, Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Like, self-titled Cold Chamber record though, Loco.
I don't think I've ever listened to a Cold Chamber album.
So I got the album Spit by Kitty, which they just repressed for Record Store Day earlier this year. And I come home and I put it on. I'm like, yeah, okay, I remember this record. But like, it's a really, you can really pin that to like the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I really want to listen to Cold Chamber right now. And obviously I don't have that on vinyl because I'm currently looking for it. But I do have it on CD. So I go dig through my CDs, I find that CD, and I'm like posting on social media, like, I gotta listen to Cold Chamber right now. Like, popped it in, and everybody's like, making stupid references to the song title. It's like, oh man, you need to listen to that in a big truck. Like, you might go loco listen to that, But that was a great record. I never followed up and kept into that band, but like, I like that first record. It's a good album. Let's see what we got here. Random guy in the back. Thoughts on indie music?
Thoughts on indie music?
Yes.
I like a lot of indie rock. I really like indie pop, like the really dream pop kind of indie pop. I like just stuff that feels like it has an atmosphere, and I get that a lot from indie music. So, to answer your question, yes, all the yes.
There was a question for all of us. What do you guys think of the whole Pantera tribute or reunion thing? Let's see who's in it.
Yeah.
It's Zakk Wylde on guitar.
Allegedly. Allegedly Zakk Wylde and the drummer from Anthrax.
I hate to break it to people, I've never been a Pantera fan, so like it means nothing to me. And I don't like Phil Anselmo either, so like I could give less of a fuck.
That's like, it's Vinnie Paul and Dimebag were Pantera.
Okay, yeah, but bands have continued without original members before.
Fair.
It's nothing new.
Fair.
And I hate Pantera. I don't know why I'm defending this.
I don't know. I never got to see Dime. The Damage Plan played Buffalo a couple of nights before the shooting. And I didn't go to that show. Well, yeah, I'll catch them next time. And then I was on the Damage Plan street team at the time for whatever reason. And I get this email the next morning. From the next morning after the Columbus show where the shooting happened. And it's like the rumors are true. Dime was shot and killed. Like, oh shit, what the fuck? And I finally got to see Vinnie Paul. Fortunately, before he passed, I got to see him with Hell Yeah.
Yeah.
Down at some shitty venue in Niagara Falls. So I got to see at least one of the members of Pantera. I wanted to see
That's something to see.
if
at
it's
least.
Zakk Wylde playing guitar, if that rumor is true. And that's been a rumor for a long ass time, even when Vinnie Paul was still alive. If it's Zakk Wylde playing guitar, I might be interested. Might. But it's, like Dime and Vinnie were the heart of that band.
Very true.
I don't know. I didn't like Pantera. I'm not a big Hell Yeah guy either, which is weird because I'm a huge fan of Mudvayne, and that's the same vocalist.
Right.
But I cannot stand Hell Yeah. I don't mind Vinny as a drummer. He is an amazing drummer. I was never a big fan of Dimebag's tone, if I'm
Right.
going to be honest, for his guitar. But he could play.
That's
He was
fair. A lot
very
of
good
people
player.
weren't thrilled with his tone, and I could see that. I, on the other hand, could throw on a Pantera record and throw down. Like, yeah, this is, like...
I will say one Pantera song I can listen to, or at least two that I can without wanting to turn it off, is 5 Minutes Alone and Primal Concrete Sledge.
I can actually tie this to the story we were talking about before the previous song break, which is, so we're showing up to this dude's house to do this backyard wrestling thing because he challenged us. And we're just like, what should our theme song be? And we were like, basically going to be like the NWO to his WCW because we were just going to show up and beat the fuck out of everybody and leave. And it was like, well, we're taking over. So our theme song's going to be Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. And I'd never heard Pantera before this. And so that's actually how I got into Pantera. Was my buddy was like, this should be our song if we're taking over. Like, okay, cool.
That makes sense.
So
I would have chose Slipknot People Equal Shit, but that wasn't out yet.
probably. Yeah, I think this was probably before the first Slipknot self-titled album, which I have a bootleg copy of on vinyl. I didn't realize it was a bootleg until I got home and went to put it in Discogs, and it's like, yeah, this is an unofficial copy. Like, oh, great. Sounds just like the CD, which is not what I want out of a vinyl, but okay.
That's a really good album, but I really love Iowa a lot from that band.
Coal Chamber represents a very specific time in metal history, but very important nonetheless.
Yeah, the new metal crowd, I'm assuming.
Yes. It is very, if you listen to that first Coal Chamber record, it is very, like, you can pinpoint that to, like, the very late 90s, early 2000s. Because that is that sound, and that's the same. That's why, like, listening to the album "Spit" by Kitty was like, I need to listen to Coal Chamber.
That's how I feel every time at work I hear "It's Complicated" by Avril Lavigne, and I'm just like, I remember where I was when that came.
Ties it right to that time period too. Great Southern Trendkill was Pantera at their heaviest. Katie discovered Pantera through SpongeBob SquarePants. That is actually a thing.
I do slightly remember that, actually. I just don't remember how that came up.
So there is an episode where Sandy, the squirrel, for those of you not familiar with SpongeBob, she is about to go into hibernation, and she wants to do all this stuff before she goes into hibernation. And SpongeBob's like, yeah, I'll go with you. And she's doing all this shit like rocket snowboarding and shit. Like crazy shit where SpongeBob is just getting fucking mangled.
Right. Yes, that's coming back to me now.
SpongeBob is just getting fucking mangled. And the entire thing is set to like some fucking Pantera riffs.
I do remember that. That is such a great scene.
Now, so the Tampa Bay Lightning lost the Stanley Cup this year. We're sticking with a Pantera story here, and like immediately, like before the photo was taken, the cup was already dented from the Colorado Avalanche. The cup was already dented by the time they got to the fucking team photo. But I think the coolest Stanley Cup denting story comes from when the Dallas Stars won the Stanley Cup. That's an asterisk. Won the Stanley Cup in 1999, and they went to Vinnie Paul's house, and Mike Modano's out on his balcony with the Stanley Cup, and he's like, "I'm going to throw this into the pool," and he throws it off Vinnie Paul's balcony, and it bounces off the side of the fucking pool and puts a huge dent in the side of the Stanley Cup. That's a true story.
The disrespect.
To this day, when the Dallas Stars score a goal, that is Pantera. That is their goal star that wrote their goal song. And Johnny Mercury disagrees and says Far Beyond Driven was the heaviest Pantera album. So,
Far Beyond Driven was okay, but then again, I've never got into a full album, and don't even try to talk to me about that glam metal era that they had.
God.
There are some people that I know that say that is the best Pantera era.
I don't know if I've ever actually listened to any of the glam metal.
I've never listened to any of it either, so I can't judge it, but it's not my thing anyway, so I'm like, I'm not going to touch it.
I'll tell you who I have listened to, and that's Sodoff. And they're performing Saturday at Mohawk Place. That's at 47 East Mohawk Street in Buffalo, which happens to be where you're playing your first show as Wasted Reject on August 7th with The Stolen. Sodoff performing Saturday at Mohawk Place with The Clockers, Cardboard Homestead, and World on Fire. That is going to be a killer fucking show. That's 7 p.m. It's $7 at the door. Definitely go check that one out. This is Sodoff, and this song is called It Only Gets Darker on All WNY. Think So Joe Show. That was Sodoff on All WNY Think So Joe Show. killer fucking song,
I was
killer
about to say,
band.
I really dug that, actually.
Ricky Rotten used to be in a band called Just One More that we've played. You weren't with us at the time when we played with Just One More, because that was like
No.
one of our first shows, so we had Ghetto Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, they. I met Just One More literally at their practice spot. We were supposed to play with Green Jello out in Rochester, but Bill Manspeaker's like, nah, I'm just gonna go home. And so, like, you know, without Green Jello, Montage is like, yeah, there's no show. So the rest of the bands on the show decided to all kind of get together and still do a show. So we got together in this like loft in Rochester, this like practice space these guys had. And so it was Yellow Sauce, it was Kaiser Solzy, who the fuck else was on that? Like Nuclear Winter, half of Nuclear Winter showed up.
I remember Nuclear Winter.
And there's a couple other bands. Lazy Ass Destroyer was there. Actually, was I telling you this story about the fucking the crashed car?
Yeah.
So Lazy Ass Destroyer on that tour had like driven off the side of a fucking mountain and rolled their car over, and everybody was okay, thankfully. But the car like basically didn't have a roof anymore. So when they were coming to play Buffalo, Karina was making cookies for the show. I was like, you know what you should do? Do you have a cookie cutter in the shape of a car? She said, yeah. I said, you should make one that looks like it's been crashed. So she makes a whole batch of cookies that look like cars that have rolled over in the snow, brings it to fucking Mohawk, gives it to Lazy Ass Destroyer. And and then the show in Rochester was the next night. So I'm sitting there, I go introduce myself to Lazy Ass Destroyer. And I'm like, dude, did you get those cookies yesterday? He says, that was you? I'm like, it was my idea, yeah. He's like, dude, like, I'm sitting there, and somebody comes up to me and gives me rolled over car cookies, like. And then I heard him telling the story later on. He's like, yeah, somebody gave me some fucking crashed car cookies, and he's fucking here. Fucking love Lazy D, man. I posted about Music is Art. He says he's going to also be playing Music is Art. He's also playing the Buffalo Infringement Festival this next weekend coming up, actually. So he's actually playing 3 nights in a row. I know he's playing the 28th at Nietzsche's. And he's also playing the 29th and 30th, and we obviously can't go to those because we've got a show and we're going to be in Nashville. So I might go check him out on the 28th. I haven't seen him in quite a while, but we kind of hit it off at that show, and I've gone to see him a few times since then in Buffalo. He's actually from Cincinnati, so. But yeah. So we were talking about vocals in between songs, because it's not necessarily screaming I don't like. If I can understand what they're saying, I'm okay with that. What I don't like is just like for Glassjaw, what throws me off is like that one song where it's just, like, what are you doing? That's singing?
You can't just do things that go.
I understand that.
What?
But like you know, like another band I have a problem with is Pearl Jam because of the vocals.
Oh yeah, I get you.
And you know, Karina loved Pearl Jam, and she's like, "Why don't you like Pearl Jam?" I'm like, "Listen, I can listen to any of Pearl Jam's slower stuff where Eddie is just singing, because Eddie's got a fantastic voice, but Eddie chooses to go." Yeah. Like, dude, you can sing. I wish I could sing like Eddie Vedder, but Eddie Vedder chooses not to sing well. Chooses not to sing well. He can. He just doesn't. And that bugs the shit out of me, and that's why I don't like Pearl Jam.
I would admit that bugged the shit out of me.
One band you can't stand. It's Ice Nine Kills.
Ice Nine, okay. So I saw Ice Nine Kills, and my entire, like, my first thought is, like, these guys have seen A Nightmare Before Christmas way too many times.
They are definitely a band that's more based off cult horror films than anything.
Yeah.
And I get to see them 2 more times next month.
I've seen them live. I was into them for a brief amount of time. I really like their song Greatest Story Ever Told. That was like before they started doing the whole horror movie gimmick thing.
So
But,
I kind of dig the gimmick. It was just all the music sounded like it was straight off of the Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack.
That's just Spencer's vocals. He has a
Yeah.
very theatrical voice
Yeah.
to what he does, and that can either bend or break something for me. And so eventually it just kind of broke it for me. I was a fan of the band for a while, and I even went to go see them live a few times, but they're at least good live.
Yeah, they
Put
are.
on a really good show.
The show, the theatrics were pretty fucking cool. I'll give you that. I wasn't a fan of the music, but you know, you got the palate cleanser before Metallica and Greta Van Fleet, and that was fucking fantastic. So I'd never seen them or listened to them before. I just knew everybody was like, oh, they want to be Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know what to expect here. I never really paid any attention to them. So it was Ice Nine Kills, and then Greta Van Fleet comes out, and it's like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I like this. And then Metallica came out, and it was just like, okay, forget about those other 2 bands. This is why I flew to fucking Las Vegas.
It's literally the absolute weirdest bill I have ever seen for
Yes.
a Metallica show is Ice Nine Kills, which kudos to them. They're still a smaller band by all that standards, and they're playing with Metallica, and that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But Greta Van Fleet, I'm not big on Greta Van Fleet for only the reason of if I wanted Zeppelin, I can listen,
You listen
to
to Zeppelin.
Zeppelin.
Funny enough, I don't like Zeppelin.
I love
And for the same reason I don't like Pearl Jam. Is like, you know, he can sing very well. Like, the first half of Stairway, I fucking love. And then you get to, like, he starts doing his usual shtick where
Yeah, Axel, what's that about?
Yet I love Guns N' Roses, so
I'm not gonna ask because there's no common sense in this room.
Listen, Sam, leave GVF alone. Leave Greta Van Fleet alone.
Her mom
Are we causing problems here?
her mom is really into Greta Van Fleet because they sound like the early 70s rock and roll music, because that's what her parents are really into, and so
Sure.
they heard Greta Van Fleet and instant fall in love. And for me, like, Greta Van Fleet makes good music. I never said they don't make good music.
Like I said, I never really paid any attention to them until I saw them with Metallica and was like, oh, shit, okay, this band's actually as good as people say they are. They do, they are Zeppelin-esque, I'll give you that. But at the same time, I don't know if they can sing in like a normal fucking way. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
which is my problem with Zeppelin, because I know he can sing in a normal fucking way, but he chooses to do all that falsetto bullshit.
From what I understand on the more newer record, they take more other influence than just Zeppelin. I hear there's like a bunch of Rush influence from like the 70s. I hear there's like a lot of that. Go home, wasted reject, you're wrong. You're just asking me to come home, honey. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah, she wants you to go home so she can yell at you some more over it.
Oh no, that's still not even the worst one. She is a big fan of the band Simple Plan.
Okay.
And
I like Simple Plan.
Me
I
too.
can't. John already knows where I'm about to go with this, and she already knows where I'm about to go with this too. Warning, shots fired. Simple Plan is literally one of the worst pop punk bands I've ever heard. And I'll admit, like, I know pop punk can be whiny. I know it can be. It's part of the genre. I get it. A lot of the pop punk bands I like, she finds whiny, and I can't see it. But Simple Plan.
She's throwing lyrics up in the...
I do anything.
But Simple Plan
Good
literally just sounds like a guy whining. Like, it's not a debate, or if he does. He literally sounds like he's whining into a microphone. And you know what? We saw him live at the final Warped Tour, and I'm like, maybe they'll change my mind live. Maybe they're a live band. They're not maybe a record band for me. And no, it was the exact same thing. And I'm just like...
I saw them, like, first or second album. Like, I think first album. They were on tour with Good Charlotte, and Good Charlotte is a band that I don't like because of their whiny. Like, my dad went to the store and he never came home. Like, I never knew my fucking dad either. Who fucking cares? Grow up.
I liked Good Charlotte a lot better than Simple Plan, but I will admit, listening to the very first album from them, like the big album that they had, it is a little rough going back to it. Now, like, being able to hear that in there.
I had those first 2 albums. I listened to them constantly, and then the more I listened to it, it's like, dude, my dad left too.
I felt like that's one of the bands that got like less whiny over the years. Like, they progressed a lot better than other bands did. Definitely better than Simple Plan did.
Now, she loves Good Charlotte. She's leaving. Bye. I loved those first 2 albums for a little while, and now I just, like, I think if I went and listened to them now, I'd be like, all right, cool, this is a little nostalgic now, but
It's like the 2 bands I got into when I got into pop punk.
Okay. I like Simple Plan, though. Like, I really, like, when I saw them, I really enjoyed them live. I never, like, bought their albums or nothing. They were never, like, my favorite band, but, like, they were definitely a band I could listen to if they came on the radio, or like I'd have a song on an MP3 player or something back then. But like, I never had an issue with them. I'd go see them again.
I will say the 2 bands that got me into it for me was Green Day for pop punk, like even Dookie. Like after hearing 21st Century Breakdown, I went back and listened to, because my stepmother had the Dookie album. And so I listened to that, and I fell in love with that instantly. So that was really my introduction to pop punk, but not really, because I heard 1985 by Bowling for Soup when I was a lot younger than that, and really was obsessed with that song. So I knew who Bowling for Soup was, and I knew who Good Charlotte was, but not because of the anthem or that. I knew them because I Don't Want to Be in Love. And I really like that song because I feel like it shows off more vocal range than their other stuff did.
Shane Maz says, hi Sam, hi John. I'm so excited and sad for Overlook's final show. Miss y'all.
I miss you too.
Okay, yeah, Shane, hi. Hey,
so,
dude.
So Bowling for Soup, 1985. Not written by Bowling for Soup.
But still, in high school, when I actually realized what the band's name was, I started listening to them constantly, and that's where my obsession with pop punk really started, was with them. But then I got into more modern stuff, like The Story So Far, State Champs, a little bit, like more modern pop punk.
Okay.
And I fell in love with that era, and now I'm not so much in love with pop punk right now, but it's going to fluctuate, I feel like.
You mean you're not rushing out to get the new Machine Gun Kelly record?
He is.
You gotta get it. You gotta get him in the DLC in WWE 2K22.
He is one of the problems with pop punk. That's the issue.
Well, I know it. No, I got into it with Dookie. Insomniac's still my favorite Green Day record. There is look. I gotta tell you this. This might be an unpopular opinion. Father of All is a very underrated album. That album is actually really fucking good. And I think a part of that is, like, I went into it thinking it was going to completely suck. And it was actually pleasantly surprising. I actually enjoyed it. Especially after everything after American Idiot. Because you had 21st Century Breakdown, you had Uno, Dos, and Tre, and you had Revolution Radio, and every single one of them was the exact same record, and they all sucked.
I actually liked Radio Revolution a lot. I can agree with you with Uno, Dos, Tre, because those albums really bored the living heck out of me when I listened to those.
Honestly, out of the 5 of those records, like, a couple of the singles off 21st Century Breakdown were okay.
Know Your Enemy is a good one.
No, for me, that song, the lyrics are, this song is repetitive, it's repetitive, this song is repetitive, away. But Let Yourself Go from Uno was like the best one out of those 5.
I will say that actually is a good song. Like, those albums those trilogy of albums as a whole really sucked, but they have like 1 or 2 songs that actually are good, and that makes me mad because I'm like, you have good songs on here. But...
For me, out of those 5 albums, Let Yourself Go is the best song. And then it got overplayed on like every sporting event ever. Because it's like they're going to commercial and it's like, you know, they're playing that song and it's like, oh man, come on. I like this song. Stop.
I get that. Like, I can see where you're coming from with those, but I really wasn't a fan of the more recent one that came out.
Father of All? I dug Father of All. And I'll tell you what, like, I bought it because I got it for like $6.
That's fair.
And I'm like, all right, I think this album is gonna suck. Just from the singles I've heard from it, I think it's gonna be fucking terrible. And Brian had gotten his before I got mine. And he's like, dude, this album's actually not bad. And I'm like, yeah, bullshit. And I put it on. I'm like, holy shit, this album's actually not bad. Like,
it just wasn't my cup of tea.
I'll tell you what, man. I got. They put out a greatest hits album called God's Favorite Band, right? And this came out like right before Father of All, so it had, you know, everything from like 39 Smooth all the way through like
it was
Revolution Radio,
basically the second international super hits.
And like. Once you get to it's a double disc, and once you get to that fourth side, it is like unlistenable. It's like, because like the American Idiot songs are on like basically disc 2, side 1, side 3, basically. And then you flip it over and here's Uno Dos Tre, Revolution Radio, some song with Miranda Lambert for some reason. Like, okay, I'm done with this album. It's going back in the shelf now. I'm just gonna go listen to Dookie all over again.
Yeah.
And Insomniac.
Yeah. I had Insomniac on CD. I want to get that anniversary vinyl at some point.
I've got it. I've actually complained about it on the podcast before.
Really? Why?
So it's nothing against the album itself, because it is it's a fantastic pressing. It sounds great. It's, you know, all the songs are there. But you have the second bonus disc, right? Mm-hmm. Now the second bonus disc has some of the songs live on one side of the disc, and then the other side is just like an etching, and it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like, why? Just put more music on the other fucking side. What am I gonna do? Hang this on my wall and then I can't listen to these live tracks? Because, oh, look, pretty art. No, stop doing that. The Pretty Reckless did that shit too. Stop doing that. Either write more music, write less music, squeeze it all onto one fucking disc, or make it a 45 and put it on 2 fucking discs. And fill out both fucking discs. Like, don't fucking put an etching on one side of a playable disc. The Aquabats have also done this. And one of the Aquabats, like, the first time I saw this, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. And now the more that I get these and I see them, and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this? This is like, it's great artwork, sure. What, am I supposed to put it on my wall? How do I listen to the record if it's on my wall? Like, what do I do with this? What? Like, just put more music on the fucking record. It's not that hard. Especially your Green Day. There's a full fucking album on the first disc, and you only put like 4 or 5 songs live from that album on the second disc. Just find the rest of the fucking songs. I'm sure they've played most of them. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. It's a waste of fucking vinyl.
Kind of is, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I don't know, I got a few records like that, so.
I think I do, actually, the more I think about it.
No, I got that Aquabats, I got that Green Day, I got that Pretty Reckless. I do have like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles record that is a one-sided record. But like, that's fine, because it's only one record. So,
yeah.
You know, like, and it is literally, like, they could have put it on a 7-inch. But they didn't, because they wanted to make it look really fancy or whatever, you know. But whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Gotta have gimmicks, I guess, to keep people buying.
Yeah.
But I've got...
I mean,
gotta have the product.
Yeah. I've got an older pressing of Insomniac, and I've got that 25th anniversary, whatever it is, so. There are a few records I got doubles of. Just because they put out anniversary releases that had cool bonus content. Like I got, what do you call it? I got Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. Got a couple of copies of that.
I got the box set when they did the 20th.
Yeah, because I had Hybrid Theory. I got a really good deal on it, and then it was like, we're releasing this 20th anniversary edition with Reanimation. Like, fuck, man, Reanimation's their best album. Let me buy that. So now I got 2 copies of Hybrid Theory. I've got 2 copies of Pink Floyd The Wall. I've got 2 copies of The Platter's Greatest Hits. One is unopened, which is the only reason I have a second copy. Because I found it in another store. I'm like, all right, well, this one's open. I can actually listen to this one.
This happened completely by accident, but I did have 2 copies of Wu-Tang Clan's Enter the 36th Chamber.
Nice.
Chamber. It was funny because I bought the album back when me and my fiance moved into our apartment, and we found out there was a record shop literally a walk down. I'm like, okay, let's go. I got the Weeknd's House of Balloons, and that was really cool because that's his first mixtape, and I didn't know he ever had any pressing of them, so I thought that was really dope. And I found that Wu-Tang record, I'm like, I have to have this. Like, I have to. It's for the kids, man. Wu-Tang's for the kids.
Yup.
But my fiance couldn't remember which one I had.
Right.
And so she got that one, and then when it came in, I'm like, honey. She ended up getting a different one. I can't remember what that one was called, but I think I've listened to it once so far, and it is pretty dope. It's like a later album from them.
There's a band that used to be around in the 80s around here, Big Wheelie and the Hubcaps, who is apparently Bill Manspeaker's uncle from Green Jello. But my mom used to be like really into this band, Big Wheelie and the Hubcaps. And I'm at Revolver one day and I'm just flipping through the used bins and I come across Big Wheelie and the Hubcaps. Like, hey mom, do you have this album? And I didn't hear back from her right away, so I bought the album and sent it in. And she's like, no, I don't have that. So I mailed it to her. And I found another one the next time I was there and sent that one to her. And then I found another one. And I'm like, hey, mom, do you have this album? And I sent her a picture, and she doesn't get back to me. So, fuck it, I'll just buy it. And she's like, yeah, you already bought that one for me. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I have a Big Wheelie in the Hubcaps record now. Yeah, when I'm at Revolver, I'm constantly like, I have my phone in my hand with my Discogs app open. Like, do I have this record? No? Okay, cool. I have it now.
For me, I remember mostly what I have, but like when I'm a Revolver, I'm usually just window shopping unless I find just that one thing where I'm like, I gotta have this.
I tend to go to Revolver on like Friday mornings because that's when they put out all the like used vinyl that they got in for the week. And, like, that's also when the new releases come out. So if I'm, like, I got some extra cash, I'm like, screw it, I'm going to Revolver. And I'll go to Revolver, and I'll just flip through the bins, and I'll just grab anything that's, like, I need to have this on vinyl. That's, like, in the new used section, and I'll just kind of bounce over and, like, look, you got any Phil Collins here that I might have missed? Like...
Used to go with Brian.
Brian.
Brian. Oh, you don't have this? Now you have it now.
Yup.
He gets you...
Yep.
Buy vinyl for you. Like,
go to a record store with Brian, and he's like, hey, do you have the Sound City soundtrack? I'm like, no. He's like, here, you have to get it. Puts it on my pile. It's like a $60 record. He's like,
you gotta
get
how much
this.
you're gonna spend. Like,
he's like, what's your budget? I'm like, yeah, because my budget fucking matters.
Now you consider my budget.
Yeah, my budget never fucking mattered when we go to the record store.
I will say, every time I see any like green Jello at any record store, I do think of you. So
I've got them all. So yeah, actually, they did a record store release. I think it was last year, and I was like, all right, I gotta get this record store release. And it was one of their older albums, so I wasn't thinking much of it. But it's like, oh, I gotta get this on vinyl. And before I even like got home to open the vinyl, like some of my friends were posting about it because. My buddy Dewey from Wyatt Coyne is also in green Jello and has his picture in there taken by Ryan Craig, the door guy at Tudor Lounge.
Okay.
So it's like, a picture of Dewey and it's this photo by R. Craig and it's like, dude, I know those guys. That's cool. I was talking to this girl and her uncle is in green Jello and I'm like, I gotta pull out this album. I gotta see if he's in here and he was not on there. And I'm like, damn, that sucks. That would have been cool. I could have sent her the picture, be like, yo, here's your uncle.
Like, oh, why do you have it?
But, yeah. So, That girl actually went to see the New Kids on the Block show the other day, and I thought about going. And then they had a day where there was like $20 tickets, and I just completely forgot about it and didn't end up buying them and going. And she posted the video of Rick Astley playing Never Gonna Give You Up at the show. And I'm just like, I really wish I would have went to this fucking show.
Yo. That's crazy.
That's another record that I have in my collection that belongs to Karina. It is the Rick Astley Never Gonna Give You Up single.
That's awesome. I will give it that. I love that song just due to the fact that it's the biggest meme on the planet.
Absolutely. And she hates it for that reason, which is why she has that record.
But we did promise we won't play that song.
It will not be on our set list at the show.
Wink, wink.
Anyway, but I literally, for Christmas, when I bought her the Glassjaw record, actually, it was the first time we did this show live on video. And live streaming on video, and it was like, here's your Christmas present. And she opens it up because it was actually like a Christmas Day broadcast. And she opens it up. I'm like, tell everybody what it is. She's like, it's Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up. and she's like, I might listen to the instrumental once, but I'm not listening to this. And I'm like, all right, here's your real present. And I gave her the Worship and Tribute from Glassjaw. So. But who doesn't have bad music is Dope City Kid. And they are playing at Mr. Good Bar, 1110 Elmwood Avenue here in Buffalo, with Knutson, Badger Danger, and Garfunkel, part of a Taste of Mutton Fest Part 2. That's, I didn't write what day. I believe that's Saturday at 8 p.m., $7 at the door, and 21 and up with your ID. This is Dope City Kid, and this song is called Heart of Gold on All WNY. ThinkSoJoE Show.
And she said, I'm not well, it's happening again. And sometimes late at night, laying down before bed, and it won't stop. Closer, he holds her, patient and confident, because he knows it'll blow by with a cool breeze, waiting till the end, like a freight train. It's alright by me. It's alright, I mean it. I'll carry all that weight, falling down in your head. It's alright. Softly draws her eyes, and he looks down with a cool grin and says, I know you can't disguise who you really are, living day to day with a smile and a heart of gold. I hope that I'm the one to carry you away. Let me carry you away like a freight train. It's alright by me. It's alright, I mean it. I'll carry all that weight, falling down in your head. It's alright, I mean it. The rain will go away, falling down in your head. Heads up in the clouds, it's safe to try to bring it down to me. It doesn't matter what you say, I'm gonna catch you anyway. Fall back down to me. Just try it, baby, you'll see. You won't stand up for nothing at all.
Dope City Kid Eye forgot to turn off the damn AC. Hey Google, turn off studio AC.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Turning studio AC off.
If I set off your devices, I apologize. It's still 86 degrees out, and there are 3 of us in this tiny room.
Yeah.
With just a little tiny fan on the desk trying to cool us all off. So song break was like air conditioning. And then complain about the gas company because my gas got cut off yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's not because I couldn't afford to pay them. It's because they refused to take my payments. The next thing I know, they're like, yeah, we just cut you off without warning because you owe us $550. Like, aren't you supposed to send me a cutoff notice? They're like, we did. No, you didn't. I've been checking my mail every day waiting for it because my plan was because now I'm like $550 behind on my fucking gas bill because they refused to take my payment. My plan is to wait for you to send me the budget, the payment agreement thing, set that up, and then set it up on my debit card and just eat the $2 a month that it's going to cost me to pay with my debit card because you won't take my fucking checking account. But they never sent me anything. They claimed they did. They're like, oh, we sent it to your email. No, the fuck you didn't. So my gas got cut off. I didn't know until I was taking a shower yesterday. I'm like, I got no hot water. This is not fun. So luckily, so I called this morning and they're like, yeah, we'll send somebody out in the next 24 hours. I'm like, you can't give me a better, like more accurate window than that. And they're like, yeah, nope, within the next 24 hours. And if you're not able to be there for the guy to get you, you can call back and then your 24 hours resets. I'm like, great. With my luck, this dude's going to show up at like 6:30. Like, I'm in the middle of a show. I'm going to have to be like, Sam, John, you guys take over. I'm going to go let this dude in.
Oh, my God.
But luckily, he came at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock or something like that. So I was able to like actually get some sleep too. Mm-hmm. So it was like, all right, cool. I can sleep, I can shower, and still have time to set up for the show. Does the random guy in the back have a name? Yes, his name is Sam. We've told you this 7 billion times so far.
It's Sam, or if you want to, Samwise Gamgee.
Or you could call him Wasted Reject, which
That
is,
too.
we played him earlier in the show, and he's got a show coming up, your very first show as Wasted Reject, August 7th at Mohawk Place with The Stolen.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting time.
Okay.
Especially since I'm the only one in the bill that's not a band, so
All right.
I'll most likely be up first.
Being in Yellow Sauce, we get booked on bills we should not be part of lots of times, and we're usually the first band.
Oh, I was just appreciative I got a show in general.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely. But, we like Yellow Sauce, we just opened for Tantric a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I think I remember you saying that.
And it's
yeah.
like we are like the only acoustic act on this bill, and we're also the only band with a narrator on this bill. So
Gotta keep it interesting.
Or playing stamps and like haven't played stamps in like 2 years.
yeah, next week, next Friday, John and I with the Living Brain Dead, we're playing at Stamps. It's the first time in like 2.5 years that we've played
Since my
Stamps.
first show.
Since November of 2019, we have not played Stamps, which is surprising because Stamps
Yeah.
is like fucking home. So we haven't played Stamps. We're going to be playing as part of Karina's birthday party. That's going to be a killer fucking lineup. The Magic Tones are up first. It's 3 acoustic acts and 3 full bands. And they're alternating. So we're starting with the Magic Tones. And we're scheduled at 6:15. So if you're coming out to Stamps, come out early. We're playing at 6:15. Followed by Janie Crash and the Tall Men out of Sodoff. Dear friends of mine and the show. Followed by Turkey Blaster Omega, which is our current bass player's brother's band. He's the drummer for Turkey Blaster, ska band out of Rochester. We've got Yellow Sauce is also on that show, but we fit on that bill. And then we're closing out the night with Kaiser Solzy, who is a fantastic artist out of Rochester. Was actually the catalyst for all of us who got into the last Warped Tour with the local stage. like us, Ryan Gurnett and I getting to do, a podcast straight from like a live broadcast from there and announcing all the local bands and doing some shtick in between bands, which was really cool. Kaiser was the one that got us all of that. So Kaiser's pretty cool, man. He was actually a part of that show in Rochester, where with Just One More and all them, that was supposed to be the Green Jello show and didn't end up being a Green Jello show. So,
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I'll definitely be at that show.
yeah, 6:15 we're playing apparently. So
I will probably just make it at the nick of time.
which means we got to be there like super fucking early because we got the in-ear shit we got to set
Yeah.
up. So, which is cool because then we could just sound check. And like the Magic Tones can play like right
Yeah.
up until 6:15, and we could just go up on stage and start.
Well, at least you won't have work to worry about.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Which was Katie's coming in on Thursday to do band practice, so we can just rehearse everything before the show. You live at Stamps? No, I do not live at Stamps. I actually moved out. That's a whole nother story. Give random guy in the back. His name is Sam.
And you've been calling me random guy in the back this whole time. So if that's not another name, then I don't know what's gonna get through here.
I love the title though. She's John's second biggest fan.
John's second biggest. Who's John's first biggest fan? That's what I want to know. Who is John's first biggest fan?
Probably his mother.
Yes.
She drove you to practice yesterday. We saw your mom. And your dad picked you up.
Yeah.
I've been seeing your dad a lot because your dad's been driving you everywhere. But I saw your mom yesterday, and she was waving to everybody, saying hello. And we haven't seen them much since we moved out to Kenmore for practice.
No, yeah.
We haven't been to your house.
You're always welcome.
Yeah, I got no way to get there, so.
Oh, he's the first biggest fan.
His mom is the first biggest fan. Yeah.
No, his mom. Oh yeah.
Yeah, his mom. Johnny Mercury says he's your first biggest fan. He did buy a T-shirt.
Yes, he did.
I got the notification during the first song break that he bought a T-shirt.
I haven't even done that yet.
Yeah.
I got 3 colors.
Yeah, John.
Black,
There you go.
black, red, and blue.
John, hit me up and I'll give you the address you could send that to, and we'll sign it for you and send it right back to you as soon as we can. So, definitely, and again, anybody wants to buy merch from merch.thinksojoe.com, have us sign it. We can, just send it to us. We'll send it right back to you. Same with Living Brain Dead merch. If you want Living Brain Dead merch signed, we've got a ton of it on shop.livingbraindead.com. Send that back to us, and we'll send it to you with signed. Or if you're buying shit that we have on hand, we can just sign it and then send it to you. John 3:16. All right, we know what Austin 3:16 says. What does John 3:16 say? I mean, like Jon 3:16, because there's obviously the Bible verse John 3:16, which is what God gave His only begotten Son, or is that what the fuck that is? I don't know.
Well, John 3:16 for me. Oh, I don't know actually.
John 3:16 says, "I just broke my foot."
John 3:16 just says, "And thou must get drumsticks the day of the show and be 2 hours late to the set."
I don't know, man. Like
I've been on time.
We've been going to Guitar Center on like earlier in the week, and he's been buying drumsticks and whatever he needs.
Okay, that's good for you guys.
Yeah, right.
But when we had him, he was always, I think.
Well, because usually he'll
mention.
mention wanting to go to Guitar Center. I'll be like, yo, I need to do some shit too. Let's go.
I need to go again. I need to get some of those, for the drums.
Oh, the gels?
Yeah, gels.
Okay. I gotta get a setup done on my Harley Benton there because I want to play that one at the show.
I guess I'll put like a Guns N' Roses thing. John 3:16, Welcome to the Jungle, or Paradise City, or something. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking of saying at the show, because like I want to acknowledge the fact that we haven't played Stamps in like 2.5 years. So I'm thinking like when we get to that point, I'm just gonna be like, "Holy shit! Do you know where we are? No, John, we're not in the jungle."
That's where I had my first show.
John 3:16. It's coming. It's coming. Crap. John 16. It's coming in crutch.
There you go. Coming in crutch. John, what do you feel about head sticks? Because Johnny uses those.
Head sticks?
Head sticks. I guess that must be a brand.
Sticks and heads.
I don't know. You're the drummer. You should know these things.
Oh, like the wooden tips or the plastic tips? Is that what you mean?
I don't. We'll give him a second to answer because stream delay. But I don't know. I'm thinking of buying an electronic drum kit. Been thinking about it.
Worth an investment.
I'm thinking because when I get ideas, I can just kind of do a rough drum. Carbon sticks that Joey Jordison used.
Oh. I
Like
used them like twice, and I did like them a lot actually. But yeah, I used them. Maybe I was like 20, so it's been a long time since I used them. But I did like them though.
So he used to have the Joey Jordison
snare drum, yeah. But unfortunately,
that
sold it.
Yeah,
John calls
I miss it though. I really do. It was like a cannon.
John texted me before a show one time, like literally the day before a show. Like, hey, do you know anybody in any of the other bands? Because I need to know if I can borrow one of their snares. And, Karina knew Angel from Knutton. I didn't really know him very well at that point.
Yeah, it was his Butterbean, the 16.
And then
Yeah,
you're like,
you bought a snare drum from me.
So which was the start of like all this money you owe me now. Because I'm like, yeah, I'll just grab you a fucking I found you a used snare at Guitar Center out in Kenmore.
I still have it
in Tonawanda, and because we had to go pick up Katie, and it's just like, yo, let's go. Can we just swing around the corner, go to Guitar Center, pick up this snare drum for John? And like Knutton was gonna let you use theirs, so you were good either way. So we go to Guitar Center, and the guy's like, yeah, let me go find it for you. And he's going and he's looking, and we're just standing there like, I think that's it right there behind the counter. He's like gone, and he's in the back. He's like, look. I'm like, pretty sure that's the drum we just bought. Pretty sure that's it right there. Dude's looking and looking and looking. He finally comes back. He's like, I don't know where it is. I'm like, is that it right there? Yes, it is. Here you go. Which is not the first time I've done that to somebody at Guitar Center.
It's not the first time we've had to deal with something like that too, but not with you specifically. I remember we were playing this house show once.
Oh, yeah.
And about like 2 days before the show, we had a practice, or we had either a practice or a hangout beforehand. And Chris just says, yeah, my guitar is shattered. And I'm just like, how did you do that 2 days before our show? Like, what? He's like, threw it down the stairs. Why you threw it down the stairs?
Jesus. I'll tell you what, man. In my old band, my original bass player, we are like packing up and getting ready for a show, and you know what happened is we were rehearsing before the show, and his bass just fucking died on him, like would not produce sounds through an amplifier. So we ended up fucking going to Walmart, who for some reason had a first act bass in stock, and we go to fucking Walmart, we buy this first act bass. And like so for like the longest time, I still to this day don't think he ever bought another bass. But he was using this first act bass until like he got kicked out of the band. And like the guitar player from that band at that time went on to be in another band that I ended up later getting involved with. And when I went to his place to like learn the parts, he was like, look what I still got. He still had the first act bass. I don't know why. What are the odds Walmart had a first act bass in stock?
Very slim.
Random guy in the back. Why is John so pretty?
Must be the shampoo or conditioner he uses. I have no clue.
John, two
Thanks for
separate
noticing.
pedals. Two separate pedals or double pedals?
Double.
I saw a thing on the internet the other day. It said if you're moving your drummer's gear, you do not grab the double pedals by the thing that connects the pedals.
But using 2 double bass drums there from a actual double kick pedal, it's a little different feeling though. But I kind of just prefer some like I don't like carrying all that stuff around.
If you're in a local band, and this isn't a shot at anybody because I do know a couple of people who do this. If you're in a local band, why the fuck do you need double bass drums?
I'm not against
I'd
it.
say I know one in particular.
I know a couple, and I you know, no offense to them. If you know, I get the aesthetic, and I get like, I will say that both of them are Metallica fans.
Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I'm not against it, but it's just a lot to.
It's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
If you're
Finding
if
room in
you're in
the
a
car.
local band and you can get away with a double kick pedal, why bother with the double?
So
That's
I prefer double kick.
quite honestly, I think it's a fair question, right? Like
Yeah.
like why would you make that much more work for yourself? I guess the aesthetic, you know, but yeah, I know a couple, and I mean no offense by asking that question. I just literally
It looks cool though.
It
to
looks
see
cool,
that.
but man,
Yeah.
it takes up a lot of room on stage. Especially like you know, if you're opening for a national and the national is backlined, now you got this big ass kit taking up a ton of room on the stage where the rest of your band can move around. You know, if you only had one kick drum. I don't know.
But-
You know, if it, you know, I get it's a preference. I get, you know, but like I'm not a drummer. I don't know.
I done it like twice. I used to do bass drums, but it was like I was like 17, 16.
Should get you a double bass drum, and we just so we keep the Shield logo on the one, and then we put the established logo on the other.
Oh,
the
my
sticker
drum
logo.
set was a monster kit, but I sold the other half to Jeff.
Right. John, drummer influences. His are David Silvera from Korn and Mike Borden from Faith No More.
Okay, good influence.
My influence. Ooh, that's good.
What did
Dave Grohl, obviously. Travis Barker. If I had to say, ooh, there's a lot actually. I have a lot of people. Joey Jordison is definitely one of them. Big
You know,
fan.
I mentioned that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. I mentioned that earlier, and actually, the lead singer from Faith No More actually does the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme in that game. I did not know that until later on, but I'd been playing that game for a while by that point. I actually got the soundtrack coming. I think it's like shipping in like October or something. But it's got the dude from Faith No More. It's got Mega Ran is on it, and also a couple of members of Wu-Tang Clan. I think it's Redman and somebody else. I can't think of who.
And I would say my drum teacher, Nick Mason.
Nick Mason, not Pink Floyd. Nick Mason.
No.
Nick Mason. I've known Nick Mason for a long ass time. I don't know that I like recognize him if I saw him because I didn't like know him, but he was actually funny enough. I posted on Instagram about us playing Music is Art, and I was talking about the first time I ever went to Music is Art. It was in the Good Carmel Records parking lot, like way before it expanded to this big ass, you know, huge all day, like expanding all across Riverworks in that area, like. Before it was a huge festival like that, they had like 3 or 4 stages down at Good Carmel Records. And, man, these are good mics. I heard you scratching your beard. And, and my friend Heather Meir was playing, and her drummer was Mr. Nick Mason. So
Great guy. Great guy, though.
I knew Nick from him playing in Heather's band, and he was... he was also in a band I can't remember the name of, but my old band played with them on a New Year's Eve show one time.
You could blame him because that's why I hit so hard. It's all his fault.
You know what? I got to tell you, like, having the in-ears in, I am so glad you hit those drums so hard because I don't have to worry about how I'm getting drums into the mix at shows.
I just wait for you to take the headphones off and I start playing.
Yeah, I saw you with our new bass player. You waited for him to figure out how to put his earbuds in before you... Man, it was his first time playing with in-ears, so we're trying to teach him how to put the in-ears in. He put them on with the cable going forward, and he pushed the little plastic part that he had it up under his chin, so it's like the cable's coming down around
behind you.
I'm like, dude, no, you put that on behind you, and it goes down your back. Like,
you got it though.
I got new in-ears, man. They got foam tips, so they stay in my ears really well. That was pretty cool. Because like I was having problems with those silicone tips, just like. Now I got the foam ones. They stay in pretty well, so hopefully they'll last through a whole show, and I won't have to like fuck with my earpieces after every song. Like the Turtles reference in the Aqua Teen movie, Mastodon did a song for the intro. They wrote that song in an hour. Random fact. I never saw the Aqua Teen movie. I think I own it, but I don't think I ever specifically like sat down to watch it. So here's a problem I have with this new mixer is I have no idea how long any of these songs are. So I'm going to probably give it a couple of minutes here, or maybe a minute or two before we start playing this last song, because I don't know how long it is. So I don't know how long after 8 o'clock we're going to go, if I hit the button now or later. So we're gonna maybe talk for a minute about August 7th at Mohawk Place with the Stolen. You could go see random guy in the back here perform his first set as Wasted Reject.
Yes, definitely come on out. Tickets are $12. You can hit me up or you can wait till the day before, just as long as you say my name to the ticket people. A lot of stuff comes a long way.
It's one of those deals where like they're gonna ask at the door who they're seated so they can split the money that way.
Oh yeah, it's an FTMP show.
Okay. Say no more. I walk in the door and Greg's like, "Who do you want to see? Who are you here to see?" I'm like, "Everybody." He's like, "Oh, anybody specific?" Nope, everybody. Like, give them all my fucking money. Each one of them gets a piece of my fucking money.
Okay, here's $1 from you.
Yeah, exactly.
$1 for you. Y'all get a dollar.
When I was booking shows, my philosophy was always, I'm gonna split I'm going to divide. I'm gonna round up to like the nearest, 5 or 10 or whatever. I'm gonna divide that by the number of bands. That's what each band is going to get. And then I'm going to take whatever's left over on top of that. So, like, the bands would go home with like $20, $30, and I'd go home with like 10. But, like, I thought it was a fair way of doing it. Anyway, no offense to Greg. Greg's got his way of doing it, and it works for him. So, whatever. Anyway, so this is a band called Market Research. They're playing Saturday at Nietzsche's. That's at 248 Allen Street in Buffalo. There's an excuse for you to go to Nietzsche's. With Ratchet Snacks and the Knockoffs. That shows at 9 p.m., $5 at the door, 21 and up with your ID. This is Market Research, and this song is called Used To on All WNY ThinkSoJoE Show. And we'll see you next week.
Your sisters and your brothers disappear without a word. I know you're feeling shitty, baby. The day will come when you and I won't ever have to work. Oh, it's so hard. Oh yeah, we work so hard. Oh God, oh no, you second guess yourself again. Oh baby, so hard. Anyone who fall in love with a broken don't need no best friend.
along the ground. It's gotta be so hard. I know it must be hard. Oh God, oh no, you second guess yourself again. Oh baby, so hard. Anyone to fall in love with a broken, don't need no best friend. Started feeling like you're never gonna get back. I can't believe that it's ever been different. But that has ever been different. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. Tired of complaining. I know that I'm so draining. I'm not sad, just miserable to be around. But I'm still making changes, baby. Someday I'll be better. Don't you leave me now. I'll show you how. Oh, it's not that hard. It's never all that hard. Oh God, oh no, you second guess yourself again. Oh baby, so hard. Anyone to fall in love with the broken.